Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
'Tis the season, folks, a time of year when you can forget all of your problems and experience the simplicity of the holiday season. Christmas is a spectacle and a wonderful escape for most. And for me, I've been in love with this holiday since I was a youngster. The food, the lights, the music, and the joy around the hustle and bustle of your everyday department store puts me in my happy place. And for years, I've lived through all of this without any wonder about why humans do what we do at this special time of year. So, I'm here to serve you up a cup of cheerful knowledge that you can take with you this holiday season and really get to know why you're burning a Yule log or why your kids are dreaming about sugar plums. This is What Came Up, the etymology podcast about everyday things. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Deej Penhollow. Let's get started. Good day, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Welcome to this week's episode of What Came Up in our deep Christmas dive. Today's episode, as mentioned in my introduction, you'll be finding out the history of the Yule log and why people burn a Yule log. We're going to go ahead and get right into it, as we usually do. Thanks for listening. The custom of burning the Yule log goes back to and before medieval times. It was originally a Nordic tradition. Yule is the name of the old winter solstice festivals in Scandinavia and other parts of northern Europe, such as Germany. The Yule log was originally an entire tree that was carefully chosen and brought into the house with great ceremony. The largest end of the Yule log would be placed into the fire hearth, while the rest of the tree stuck out into the room. The log would be lit from the remains of the previous year's log, which had been carefully stored away and slowly fed into the fire through the 12 days of Christmas. It was considered important that the relighting process was carried out by someone with clean hands. Nowadays, of course, most people have a central heating furnace, so it is very difficult to burn an entire tree. In Provence, which is in France, it is traditional that the whole family helps to cut the log down and that a little bit is burned each night. If any of the log is left after 12th night, which we talked about in a previous episode, it is kept safe in the house until the next Christmas to protect against lightning. Interesting. In some parts of the Netherlands, this was also done, but the log had to be stored under a bed. Okay. In some Eastern European countries, the log was cut down on Christmas Eve morning and lit that evening. In Cornwall, which is in the UK, the log is called the mock, M-O-C-K, the mock. The log is dried out and then the bark is taken off of it before it comes into the house to be burned. Also in the UK, barrel makers, or coopers as barrel makers were traditionally called, gave their customers old logs that they could not use for making barrels, and people would use them for Yule logs. The custom of the Yule log spread all over Europe, and different kinds of wood are used in different countries. In England, oak is the tradition. In Scotland, it is birch, while in France, it is cherry. Also in France, the log is sprinkled with wine before it is burned, so that it smells nice. What a waste of wine. Alright, in Devon in Somerset in the UK, some people have a very large bunch of ash twigs instead of a log. This comes from a local legend that Joseph, Mary, and Jesus were very cold when the shepherds found them on Christmas night. So the shepherds got some bunches of twigs to burn to keep them warm. I don't imagine that would have lasted very long. Oh, whatever. In some parts of Ireland, people have a large candle instead of a Yule log, and this is only lit on New Year's Eve and 12th night. Different chemicals can be sprinkled on the log like wine to make the log burn with different colored flames. So we got potassium nitrate, that burns violet. Barium nitrate burns apple green. Borax is a very vivid green. Copper sulfate burns blue. and table salt burns bright yellow. That is very much like the fun flames you could buy at the grocery store, where you just stick the thing in the fire and it makes your fire different colors. Pretty cool. This sounds very dangerous, so please only try this out with some adult supervision. So any kids listening, do not be playing with fire. It continues to say that the ashes of Yule logs were meant to be very good for plants. This is very true, because the ash from a burned piece of wood contains a lot of potash, which can help plant flowers. But if you throw the ashes out on Christmas Day, it's supposedly very unlucky. So, in addition to things that can be burned, not only can this also be burned, but you don't want to burn this one. It is a chocolate Yule log, or I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. But it is now a popular Christmas dessert or pudding. It is traditionally eaten in France and Belgium, where they are known as Kerstronk, or in Flemish. I don't know what any of that means. They are made of chocolate sponge roll cake layered with cream, and the outside is covered with chocolate or chocolate icing, and it is decorated to look like the bark of a covered log. Some people like to add extra decorations, such as marzipan mushrooms. So, there you have it. The Yule log. Why they talk about that. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again sometime soon. Maybe we'll do sugar plums. I'm not sure.